And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bubba and the Bloom, episode 248. It is a BloomBoard Tuesday, everybody. We're going to talk some hitters, BABIPs, home runs, the fly balls, all kinds of fun stuff there. Talk about some news and notes and other shenanigans as we usually do here on Bubba and the Bloom. But before we get to that, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at RyanBHQ. Ryan Bloomfield, how we doing, my friend?
Doing good. Looking forward to the news and notes portion of the episode tonight. Busy day in real life. So I feel like all this stuff happened and you were, I guess, not tweeting in the Discord. You were posting all this stuff in the news channel in the Discord. I'm like, what is going on? Feels like a lot happened on Tuesday. So lot to cover in news. But outside of that, I am fantastic. How are you doing?
I am doing well, just a little tired, but that's the usual for us old farts here in our evenings around here. But
It's
all
bad.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
last night I went to bed like I think 8:45. And as I was doing that, I was like, damn, tomorrow night at this time, we won't even be starting our pod yet.
Yep. Life comes at you fast, buddy. Life comes at you fast.
Oh, yeah.
But speaking of all the news and notes, I didn't say at the top, I mixed up the intro. Patreon.com/Bubba Bloom to get all the good stuff there, including the news and notes for at least 5 days a week, sometimes more lately, depending on my schedule. Wednesdays will be free. We'll have that posted out for everybody to check out. So go check that out. If it's busy day, get that patreon.com/Bubba Bloom, and you'll have a bunch of news and notes that I will be writing up after tonight's show. So there'll be no grammatical errors or anything, I promise, throughout that. That's what Grammarly's for, folks. But yeah, we'll have that coming at you for free.
Yeah. Our editing budget on the Patreon is quite low. So it is basically just Grammarly as our editor. So we'll see what you come up with. I like how you I like how you and some of the folks in the Discord like said you misspelled Gibson Long's name, which was pretty good. And then you throw in some casual nuggets in there, that inside show jokes that I think most people get, maybe don't, but I do at least. So
I think most get it. In the fab column for the first time, Sheets is worth it was clean your sheets, courtesy of Ryan Bloomfield. And
yep.
Like there's nuggets throughout the show. There's definitely those, and I bring it over there because what we do here is we laugh, we have fun, and we talk about fantasy baseball, and that's how the Patreon is as well. Speaking of the Patreon, you had to sign up to be a paid or free Patreon member to get in the listener leagues this year. We had 10 listener leagues, 15 team auction drafts this year. So we do it the first Tuesday episode of each month. We recap the overall standings in the listener leagues. And I will say this much. When we did this last time, Ryan, I was near the bottom. I think things are changing with our setup here. If we did this a couple days ago, I was 10 spots higher, which would have been really cool. But I'll still take it because I'm trying to scroll and find you. And I don't know where I saw Roger Bloomfield. He's having a good year. Oh, there you are. Okay, found you. So where would you like to start on this one?
How far do you have to scroll down to find me? What am I at?
121.
121. Hey, out of 150, I'll take it. I had out of 150 teams last week, I finished 149th. So that was cool. Great timing on doing our listener league update. So my team is in shambles. This is actually my worst. This is definitely my worst team of any team that I have this season. 14th place overall. It's pretty much been a dumpster fire. It's a Yordan Alvarez team. It's I got Pablo Lopez. He's my ace, and then I just found out he left the game. So we'll see. But who cares about my team? Let's run down the top 10. We have a new overall leader, which is really sweet.
Real quick, did you see you said you were in the bottom 2 of the week last week? Did you see it was in the top 5 last week by chance?
Yeah. You're sorry ass.
Okay, just checking. All right, back to where you were with the people that actually matter, because I'm not in the top overall right now.
Yeah, you're not. We need to do this like next week when I have a good week or something. But anyway, we do have a new overall leader, and if we recall, the winner of the overall gets free registration to First Pitch Arizona November 6th through 9th, hosted by Baseball HQ. So pretty nice of them to offer that up. But Aaron Asbury has taken over first place. He finished second last week amongst everybody and overtook Jason Weir for the top spot. Jason, have to give Jason a shout out. second overall in our league. In our overall, he has been first pretty much wire to wire up until basically tonight. I think Aaron took it over. But Jason Weir is also in the online championships at NFBC out of 1,020 teams. Jason is second and third overall in the OLAC. So that is damn impressive. I think we have a shark on our hands.
Well, and the guy in first in the OLAC was our first guest on our live Vegas show, Mr. Mark Winokur. So that's pretty good stuff as well. But continue, as there's a lot of great names on this list.
Yeah, so Aaron's in first, Jason's second, third place, Brandon Waddell. Fourth place, some guy named Ben Tidd.
I don't know who he is.
Having a year. Tony Musso in fifth, Michael Cicchini, our good buddy, in sixth, Eric Leggett in seventh, Josh Redmond eighth, Ryan Beck in ninth, Sonics 10 in the Discord, and then Marion Osborne rounds out the top 10. You can take 11 through 15. We'll shout out the top 15.
I was going to say real quick, though, because I don't believe so. I think everybody on that top 10, unless I'm missing something, none of them have been to FPES. So at least I've never met them in the last 4 years.
You would be correct. I have not met anybody in the top 10 in person.
So I would say that would be a nice little way to get the boost, if that makes sense to anybody. So that'd be cool. 11 through 20, to your point, where I can butcher names here. Nick Bullock is 11th. Our buddy Lucas Beery, who has an online championship belt at home, he is 12th. Chris Shelton is 13th. Kenneth Norton, Ken Norton, I love it, at 14. Our buddy Callan, sorry. I told you I'm great with names, folks. Callan is 15th. Matthew Hennings is 16th. Adam Steinmetz, the pizza man, is 17th. Woo-hoo! Our buddy Nicholas Perry is 17th as well. Ben Bingham, 19th. And Spencer Goodwine at 20. So a lot of active members right there in the Discord as well. So it's a really cool group, and a lot of moving and shaking, because if you mentioned the overall, like between first and even, let's just say, 15th, there's only a couple hundred points separating them. So it's not like it's a gigantic gap at this point of the season.
Jason's given back his lead. I think he had been quite ahead by quite a bit. So either falling back or the field is catching up to him. I'm going to start doing. I started this on Monday, but I will post a weekly on the Patreon post overall top 10, and then the last week top 10, just to keep. It's easy to kind of let this stuff slip. We have a lot of, momentum and whatnot during the drafts for the auctions, but we want to at least try as much as we can keep interest somewhat high in the listener league. So if you are on the Patreon, if you are in the listener leagues, I will have those posted every Monday morning going forward.
Sweet. That'll be another fun conversation piece to discuss throughout that, because some pretty tight leagues, lots of moving and shaking. We'll see where things land when it's all said and done. All right, let's get to some news and notes here. And it's just a little snippet of what's been going on lately, because a lot of it's rehabs or day-to-day, or like Pablo Lopez, we have no idea. Brandon Woodruff took a line drive, like he's hurt yet again, like a million things along those lines. But we got some news we can actually talk about. Jack Caglione was promoted from AAA to the Kansas City Royals, made his debut on Tuesday night, went 0 for, I believe he had 3 balls like over 105 miles an hour, or some crazy number. First at bat, you got robbed of a shot against the wall by Victor Scott, I believe. So he looked good, didn't get the hit, but very, very positive things, I would say.
Very positive thing. Yeah. Top two hardest hit balls of the night. Caglione 113 and 112 miles an hour. So yes, went 0 for 5, but I think we saw the power on display, especially if you saw some of Caglione's at bats. We will talk more about him in detail on the Thursday Fab preview, but suffice to say, I am extremely interested in Caglione. I mentioned earlier, I actually picked him up a week early in Tout Wars for $5, which is looking pretty good now. I had to take the 0 of the week I picked him up, but I don't know. I feel like this is like Nick Kurtz with half the strikeout rate, which seems ideal. So we'll see. A lot depends fab price wise what Caglione does this full week, but we will revisit that on Thursday. Playing time, I think, is mighty safe as long as Caglione can hit. So very interested in fab for him.
Camilo Duvall just blew his save, a second chance he's had since taking over closers. So got that going for him. But I'm with you on Jack. I think he's looking good. They say he's going to play a ton of right field, DH a little bit. They basically want him in that lineup every day. So that's always like our biggest concern when a young player gets called up. Like, what's the playing time? For instance, Ronnie Mauricio got promoted on Tuesday to the New York Mets when Mark Vientos went to the IL. We don't know the exact extent to Vientos' injury just yet. Mauricio was batting 7th, playing third base on Tuesday. Mauricio was a big-time prospect. A couple of injuries have just derailed that whole situation, but he's been rehabbing. He's been torching AAA. He got the call. It comes down to, like you said, at least we have a full kind of week to see how this goes. But the question is when Vientos comes back and blah, blah, a million things. Yeah. But that's probably better for Thursday's show. What's your thoughts on Mauricio getting the call? Because we're on the verge of a Fabapalooza.
We are on the verge of Fabapalooza. Already a couple big call-ups this week. Hopefully a couple more. Looking at you, Pirates and Red Sox, to see if you can call up your top prospects. But yeah, Mauricio, I'm not as in on, at least so far, just given the playing time picture, like you said. What happens when Mark Vientos comes back? So we'll see. But for now, Mauricio's going to play, and we will get a full, pretty much week look and make our decisions on Sunday evening. So looking forward to that.
Luke Weaver to the IL with a strained hamstring. The initial reports was 4 to 6 weeks by Aaron Boone. No grade given. That would be typically a grade 2 strain. On Tuesday, Luke Weaver said he expects to be back in 15 days, and Aaron Boone said, no, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, we're going to play that game. But it looks like for at least a month, Devin Williams is back. Devin Williams got the save on Tuesday night. It wasn't pretty, but he got the save on Camilo Duvall. So where do you sit on this whole situation? I think pretty much everyone knows where I sit on it.
Everyone knows where you're actively, you're like Ben Tidd rooting for Justin Martinez in the Discord. You're actively rooting for Devin Williams for obvious reasons. So I get it. I think this is a gift. This is a gift for Devin Williams, because I had said before on the podcast, like, it was falling into quite a nice routine where Devin Williams would knock out the 8th inning and Luke Weaver would dominate the 9th. And I didn't see any reason for the Yankees to change that. And then all of a sudden this injury happens. The same thing can be flipped. If Devin Williams for 5-6 weeks takes the 9th and pitches well, he has not pitched well. And then I think that I was watching the 9th tonight. I think he's got a sub-3 ERA in the 8th inning or earlier this season, and like a 10 ERA. Man. Yeah, it's like a 10 ERA in the 9th. I think that's just fluky. Devin Williams obviously knows how to close, but going back to what I was saying, like the flip side of this, if Devin Williams settles in nicely to the 9th and pitches well for the next 4 to 5 weeks, similar to what I was thinking with Luke Weaver, injury aside, how do you take Devin Williams out of the 9th? So it's a big month ahead for Devin Williams, but I would definitely say a gift for Devin Williams managers in New York.
And this was a rough one because I know, like, our buddy Brandon Waddell, he was tweeting it to me. He dropped him this past week because, like, the Weaver news broke about 7:30ish. Like, it was right after the fact. The fact he dropped them, I couldn't have blamed him because we talked about it on the Fab show. I was like, I'm trying to hold as my one stash, but I get it if you can't. It made we were at that point where I was on your side. It was Weaver's job to lose. This just came out of nowhere. Second pitcher so far this year that messed up his hammy pretty good playing catch. Remember that now? Interesting situation there.
The other guy hasn't done too well.
No, but I'm not going to say anything because then I look like a victory lapper. But yeah, I'm rooting for Devin. He's got a month to make this happen, and hopefully he does.
Yeah. Devin too was like, remember in our Vegas listener league, he was dropped. We were talking about that on the Fab show, and we were like, what's he going to get picked up at? And yeah, right after Fab, Devin Williams got picked up. It's a 12-teamer, but $5 unopposed in our Vegas listener league, which is an extremely active league. That's not a slight on the managers in there, but that could be an absolute coup. But yeah, I was getting close to dropping Devin Williams theoretically in 12-teamers because he just didn't look like he was going to go back in the 9th, but
100%
funny game we play.
Yes, it is. And what's not so funny is Corbin Burns, who left his last start. If you read lips like John Boy and others, he basically said his arm's dead. That elbow is dead, I should say. After the game, he said it was just tight, didn't feel a pop, has an MRI. We don't know the results of the MRI, but we do know he's getting a second opinion from Dr. Neil Elatrash, and we know how well that goes. So if you need a second opinion, but we don't get the MRI, I think we can kind of put 2 and 2 together on this one. Not great, Bob. So at least we'll know before Fab. Let's put it that way.
At least we'll know before Fab. I think we know what's going to happen. The second opinion with Dr. Reattach just never. I mean, that is a basically a death sentence for pitcher. So it really sucks for Corbin Burns. I guess it's Ryan Nelson time,
Yep,
right,
he's
to fill
back.
in. So he's back. I think some folks like Ryan Nelson more than I do. Until Ryan Nelson starts missing some bats, it's been a sub 9% swinging strike rate every season in the majors for Ryan Nelson, which is not great. But so far this season, 14% strikeout minus walk, like a lot of the ERA estimators or whatever in the mid threes, like that works in 15 teamers. I think of Ryan Nelson as like a decent streamer in those formats. So I'm not going crazy for Ryan Nelson, but he's gonna have the gig for as long as he stays healthy, I guess. And that makes him pretty much by default valuable in 15 teamers.
Yep, valuable in 15. He's a streamable pitcher now because he will have some good starts there. It's a great point you make because I posted something in the Discord and our buddy Martin Sikolsky, he says, man, I can just never get behind him the way other people can, similar to what you just said. And I mentioned to him, I said, yeah, I'm probably always too excited, but I agree. Like he's not like he seems worse this year than he had in the past. Like he had that run of maybe a month where things looked like he was figuring things out, kind of disappeared again. So we'll see. I think maybe getting yo-yoed back and forth hasn't helped. Now he's gonna be in the rotation, so that could maybe do something. Time will tell. Zach DeCenzo to the IL for with a, I can't remember the exact wordage on this now, but I think they've learned their lesson from Yordan Alvarez. Let's put it that way. They would have called his inflammation probably before when them hit batting practice on Saturday, but now it's like a strained capsule in his hand, and he's going to be shut down for 2 weeks before more imaging is done. I know, great concept, image before you start working out again. Crazy thought, but so he's going to be out for a bit. You can drop him. Shelton got the call, which is Melton got the call, which is very interesting as well. I like his skill set a ton. He had a great spring and good last year, 15 homers, 30 steals in the minors. Where do you sit on this Houston situation where it just seems they can't ever just stay healthy for like 2 weeks right now?
Yeah, I actually like Melton. I picked him up in a couple of draft and holds, like deep late in the offseason. Some prospect pedigree. Wasn't sure what the playing time would look like. You mentioned the spring, but AAA numbers for Melton, who's 24, 71 plate appearances, elite barrel rate. I'm looking at the minor league leaderboards that we have as part of the Patreon. It's a 23% barrel rate for Jacob Melton with a 21% strikeout rate. That is awesome. Granted, again, only 71 plate appearances, AAA. I fully admit that I am scouting the stat line with this. I think most importantly, going back to what we were talking about with Ronnie Mauricio, what's the playing time going to look like for Jacob Melton? Is it a platoon? Is he going to play every day against right-handed pitching? So far, Jacob Melton has, albeit 8th or 9th in the Houston lineup. But if Jacob Melton settles in as a strong side platooner while DeCenzo's out, or even when DeCenzo comes back, this could be an interesting type of guy that we would bring up probably regularly on the Fab show in weeks where Houston gets a bunch of right-handed pitchers. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with Jacob Melton. But yeah, kind of like a sneak. If all the headlines are Caglione and Mauricio, and there's little old Jacob Melton kind of sitting in the back, I could see myself grabbing him for cheap this coming weekend if I think the playing time's going to be there.
You and me both, because I remember very, very well that I wrote him up in PT Tomorrow in the spring because watching how he was playing, he was battling for that outfield spot with Cam Smith. It was like between them for that outfield spot. Cam Smith won it out, then Melton got hurt like right away in the spring or at the start of AAA. So he missed a chunk of time and kind of got forgotten about. That has changed again. So I agree. There's a very good skill set here, and hopefully he can figure things out. All right, last one I got here. Max Meyer goes to the IL with hip impingement. He was already on everybody's drop list anyway, so screw it. Might as well go to the IL, buddy. We found out he's been pitching with his hip injury for at least the last 2 starts. So another guy that just towards the top of my what the heck list on this one. But it's been bad, man. Maybe this is why. Who knows? But at least it's a good excuse.
Not gonna lie, I was somewhat relieved when I saw this news because I started Max Meyer in a bunch of spots.
I don't even believe it. I think it's just yeah.
It's more because it's a 2-step this week, and he already got beat up against the Rockies, so he had one more start. I think who was it going to be against? I don't know. It was a tougher step. Like it was a 2-step because you wanted the road Rockies.
There aren't any other worse ones, so yes, they're all tougher.
So it's like you kind of get beat up by the road Rockies, and then you've got one more start this week, and like I can't do anything about it. So I don't know, quite selfishly was a little bit relieved to see this, but yeah, sucks to kind of hear the news that the last couple starts, Max Meyer was basically pitching hurt I guess the timing bodes well, right? It's going to be a
Yes.
1-for-1 with Yuri Perez, who this could be again a major weekend in Fab if Perez debuts before Sunday. But
he's supposed to pitch this weekend.
Yeah, is it going to be right Friday, Saturday, or Sunday at all?
I'm thinking it's going to be Sunday. He's pitching rehab on Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That'd have to be Sunday then. Yeah, that would be Sunday.
Yeah.
So we may not get it in NFBC leagues, but like in Labor and Tout, he's probably IL'd. Either way, I think we'll see with Yuri Perez. And again, we'll revisit this on Thursday. The track record of, and this is my selective memory, but pitchers coming off major elbow surgeries this season hasn't been great. Just look at Yuri Perez's teammate, Sandy Alcantara, not great. Spencer Strider, not great. I know that was braced and not full TJ, but just it's very hard for these guys to come back right away off such a long layoff and have the velocity be there, the command be there. So I feel like Yuri Perez may be a little bit overvalued name-wise based on that. But again, we'll see how he looks if we get that extra look if he pitches Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. He's been outstanding over his last few rehab starts.
He has.
So time will tell.
Yep.
But then again, those are rehab starts. Then they get with the big boys. Things change. We'll see how it goes. Real quick update on your Pablo Lopez. Left the game with right shoulder tightness.
Oh, no, that's the worst. That's the worst.
Remember a couple of years ago, no one wanted to draft him because of his shoulder? Then he's pitched through it for like 2 years. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. We'll have more for you on Thursday about that one, I have a feeling. But we'll move on from there. We'll talk BloomBoards, Ryan. We'll wrap up the news there again. If you guys want all the news, there's a ton of it from Tuesday. Patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. Wednesday's news article will be free. So go check it out there. It drops, well, tonight it'll probably drop around 12 o'clock at night, 12:30 Pacific time. But yeah, you'll get it somewhere around then.
We'll post the link from our accounts too on the Twitter machine for whatever reach that gets these days. Anyway, BloomBoard time. Let's pivot from that Pablo Lopez injury and Camilo Doval blown save. This is why we're professionals. You know, we might be down in the dumps, but we forge on. What we are looking at, just pulled it up for the YouTube crowd. This is, and I posted this on Twitter as well. This is the 10 biggest outliers, both positive and negative, of BABIP and homer to fly ball. Okay, so what basically that means is, and I'm comparing this season 2025 to each player's personal baseline. So in general, with we talk about BABIP all the time, batting average on balls in play, league average is like 290, but basically every hitter sets their own baseline, and in any given season, either above or below that baseline, you would expect that hitter to kind of go back to their personal average. So, and the same for homer to fly ball rate, right? League average is like 11%, but obviously Aaron Judge has a much higher homer to fly ball rate. Each hitter establishes kind of their own baseline level of skill for each of these two metrics. Anything an outlier away from that, we would expect to go back going forward to their career norms. So that's what we're showing here is the 10 guys that are the most above, if I'm explaining that right, most above their personal baseline in BABIP and homer to fly. Those are the 10 in green that we'll talk about on the board. And then on the flip side in red, these are the guys that are underperforming compared to their personal average. And we, in theory, would expect them to improve. So it's almost like the green guys you'd expect to fall back. The red guys you would expect to improve. So
just say the magic words, Ryan. The green guys are your regression candidates. The red guys are your positive regression candidates. The word everybody loves so much.
They're all regression candidates.
I know, that's my point, because that was that big debate last year. So yeah, just say the word everybody loves. That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we'll do that. But not, I mean, with all these guys. So yeah, we'll talk about probably all these guys.
Pretty close. We're not going to talk Aaron Judge. I apologize to everybody there.
Right. Like yes. Aaron Judge is the top because he's got a 455 BABIP, which is crazy. But I mean, you're not doing anything. And that's kind of what we want to provide that color. Like I always say with all the BloomBoards is it's a starting point of the discussion. It's not like every single one of the top 10 is going to fall back. Every single one of the bottom 10 is going to improve. So that's what we do. We paint it with our quote unquote expert analysis.
Quote unquote is correct. All right, let's kick it off with Will Smith on this one, because why not? Why not kick it off with one of my favorites? Hitting 331 on the year with 5 home runs, but that BABIP has jumped to 383 on the season. It was 273 last year. It hasn't. The highest it's been in his career is 294 back in 2020 over 37 games. It's pretty much been a steady 273 or 277 the last 4 years. Very consistent. The batting average has basically been 250 to 260. That's who Will Smith has been. So there's a massive outlier here. And the home run to fly ball has followed suit in this one. Actually going the opposite.
It's actually
which
falling.
is funny.
Yeah, the BABIP's been so good that it doesn't really matter that the home run to fly ball is falling back.
That could be credited. Let's just pull it up here. And the weird part is, you think, okay, if the home run to fly ball's down, the BABIP's up, you think a higher ground ball rate. Nope, not the case.
Nope.
So, what are you seeing here with Will Smith? Because this is just comical to me.
I think this was like Will Smith kind of quietly has been the number 2 catcher. Like Cal Raleigh gets all the accolades, and he should. Will Smith has been the number 2 catcher this season, and there's actually a big gap between Will. So you're shaking your head. I'm just stating actual math.
I know.
Facts.
I know. I just have arguments, of course. But
like debating the
like,
okay. Dude, he's hitting 330, 331 with let's see, 25 runs, 30 RBI. That's a lot, dude.
The 5 homers and 2 steals is weak sauce. The batting average is great, but the power speed combo is garbage for the second overall catcher.
The power is not garbage. So this is what I'm getting at. Will Smith will not hit 331 the rest of the way. We are saying that. But I think Will Smith can hit like 280 the rest of the way because the hard contact has been there for Will Smith. And this is why Will Smith, it's weird because he only has the 5 home runs. He's actually been unlucky in the power department. This is a guy with 15 barrels to only 5 home runs, career high 12% barrel rate. Like, he is hitting the ball harder than he ever has before. And that's why I think Will Smith doesn't fall back to the, like, all the way to the 270 batting average type guy. He's hitting the ball as hard as he ever has. And I think he's what we get in batting average pullback from Will Smith. I think the home runs are going to uptick and actually cancel that out. I think Will Smith is pretty legit the number 2 catcher right now in fantasy.
Yeah. What's crazier, because you mentioned the barrel and the hard hit rates, which damn impressive, best of his career, as you mentioned. He's also walking over 16% of the time, which is by far the most. So his play discipline is the best it's ever been. His quality of contact metrics are the best it's ever been. Still can't hit a home run, but he's doing everything else very, very well. So, yeah, he's playing great. Not going to knock that by any means, but number 2 catcher,
yes,
give me a freaking break.
He has been, so saying. You cannot dispute that he has actually been the number 2 catcher, and I think he can be like maybe King William. And I hate to besmirch our king, our good king.
He's playing with you, but he's a real catcher. He plays with a broken finger every day. Where Will Smith takes days off, and he needs other
that's not
factors.
A category, so. That's not a category. How many broken appendages you're playing with?
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the Fangraphs player rater. Will Smith's the 3rd catcher, by the way. Hunter Goodman has passed him up. But
get out of here. Get out of here.
I swear to God. Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Whatever.
It goes Raleigh, Goodman, Smith, Logan O'Hoppe, William Contreras. That's on the season, the top 5. If we want to just look at, let's say the last 30 days. Let's see where your boy Will Smith's 4th on the list.
Okay. But I'm talking about the season.
He's good,
dude. I don't know what your point is here.
I'm just angry.
We know you don't like Will Smith.
Yeah.
So
I can't. This is where I think this is more. I think to the discussion how we always talk player raters favor batting average more than power. We've discussed that before.
Yeah,
I think this is where it really comes into play. But we'll move on. No one wants to hear me whine about Will Smith anymore.
We could keep this debate going. So.
Yeah, Ryan O'Hearn hitting 329 on the year with 9 home runs. You've seen his BABIP go from 307 to 359. His home run to fly ball from 11% to 21%. There was a time when Ryan O'Hearn was playing for the Kansas City Royals and was basically left for dead. Got DFA'd. Didn't matter. He gets picked up by the Orioles. He's strictly a platoon guy. Now he plays every single day. Lefties, righties. Who cares? It's just been impressive. Another great game on Tuesday night against the Seattle Mariners. What do you see when you look at Ryan O'Hearn? Because I don't think he can obviously sustain this all year, but he's doing everything pretty darn well to at least justify the improvements.
Yeah, at least some of the improvements for sure. The strikeout rate has been very good in the mid-teens. Like that's really good for strikeout rate, especially with the power that you have for Ryan O'Hearn. We all know he's not going to hit 329 the rest of the way. I would also argue he's not going to keep up this home run pace because, again, This is somebody who, for his basically the previous 3 seasons, has been a league average homer to fly ball guy, and that has doubled so far in 2025. And it's just 9 times out of the 10 that falls back. But still, Ryan O'Hearn can be a very like both things can be true. He can be playing over his head right now. Maybe he settles like a 270. A lot of the projections have Ryan O'Hearn 270, 280 the rest of the way with like 13, 14 home runs. I think that's still super solid. So playing above his head, but also still, I think, a pretty good player.
Yeah, that 52% hard hit rate, 10% barrel rate is impressive. He's hitting the ball on the ground more than he since 2020, which is a big bump Kansas City Royals time. But yeah, really like what we're seeing there from Ryan O'Hearn. Been loving that fab pickup when all things were said and done. All right, your boy Freddie. Do you want to talk Frederick? I think we both know he's really good. He's doing it on basically 1.5 ankles, and but he's 368 average, 9 homers. BABIP's up to 423. Homer to fly ball's even better at 17%. But I'm not going to clown the guy. The guy's a freaking professional hitter, and I wouldn't be shocked if he plays well. But I'm just waiting for the ankle to break.
So that's my problem. And he's actually attempted a steal. I don't remember that happening, but Freddie Freeman was thrown out in that one attempt. Like I don't know. If I have Freddie Freeman in a trading league, I'm probably looking to see what I can get if I need pitching or whatever. The ankle still, I can't get over the ankle. Right. He's obviously not running. The ankle we know isn't 100%. He's doing this, like you said, on 1.5 legs. The Dodgers seem to think the ankle will just get better in the second half. I am not
how it works.
I am not a medical expert, but I just feel like this is, and maybe this is just my bias, but if I have Freddie Freeman, I am very thankful that I have Freddie, but also if I need pitching, if I need some other categories or whatever, I'm not getting the steals that I want. I'd maybe see what's out there, what I could get for Freddie Freeman. I would think you could get quite a haul for him because 423 BABIP, like you're not sustaining anywhere near that. Like Freddie Freeman could hit 300 the rest of the way, which is still really good. And what the projections are basically saying, and it's with like 14, 15 home runs, which is good, but it's not like elite
earth shattering.
So, exactly. And again, no steals on top of it. So
0 steals. Like it's one of those where if the Dodgers can't pull away, which is crazy because the Padres, Giants, even D-backs, like the division's tough. If they could pull away, there's a 2 to 3 guy Elston coming his direction before the postseason, to get right. But they just can't pull away at all. I know it's way early in the season as well, but there's not a chance at the moment. All right, let's check out Clean Your Sheets. It's good that he's on the board here. Dude's hitting 266 on the year with 11 dongs, 262 BABIP last year, 298 this year, 9% home run to fly ball, 20%. This is a dude that with the White Sox, everyone was like, okay, he's a stream this week, and then you drop him because you look at his stat line, it has been bad throughout his career. But you look at the BABIP, like it's the highest it's ever been, but it's not insane. I'll say that much when it comes to him. Do I expect Sheets to play this well for so long? No. But I think he can still be pretty serviceable. Like the quality of contact is awesome. The ground ball, fly balls, all that's pretty much the same. He's just hitting more home runs to fly ball. Where are you at on Mr. Clean Your Sheets, Gavin Sheets?
I am still cleaning the sheets for sure. I mean, the barrel rate's double what it's basically been throughout his career, which again, that could fall back, but it just shows like the raw skill, the raw power has been there for Gavin Sheets. He hasn't like the strikeout rate's up slightly, but Gavin Sheets does not swing and miss all that often, and the power looks really good right now. So I do think, bias aside, I mean, Gavin Sheets already has more home runs this season than he's hit the last 2 seasons individually.
He's got more than he's hit in any season in his career already.
Yeah. Well, he had 15 a few years ago, but
in 124 games. That's
exactly. It's bonkers. But similar to like I put like Sheets and Ryan O'Hearn kind of in the same bucket. Like they've both been playing very well above their head, but I think both can still be pretty solid and definitely stream worthy for Sheets. And yes, Andy, you are correct. We are phrasing there quite a bit.
Yeah, we are definitely doing that. So, Alex Bregman. Ryan, why don't you talk about that? I got to take care of something real quick.
Okay. Bregman, so he's on the list, 265. BABIP over the last few seasons, up 331 this season. I don't see that sustaining at all. I know it's a new park, but it's similar to what we saw in Houston. And obviously Bregman's hurt, so that's the elephant in the room, the cloud hanging over all this. But we saw Alex Bregman's best stint of the season. I think when Bregman comes back, I don't think we get 300 anywhere near close to that, which is what Bregman has been hitting. I think he goes back to like 260, which is what he has always been, with like a 20 home run pace over the full season. I don't think Alex Bregman has really changed all that much. And again, he's only been playing for like a month and a half, a little short of 2 months. So I will always take the multi-year track record over a 2-month thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. We know how good he is. He's only drafted where he was drafted due to unsigning, essentially.
Yeah.
He goes from the short porch at the Crawford boxes to the short porch just a higher fence in Fenway. Right. This is who he is. Like, a healthy Bregman's always been serviceable, and he's doing just that yet again. Javi Baez, I don't have a lot to say here. I think it's what's happening is what you mentioned a few weeks ago. He's hitting 271 with 6 homers with the 333 BABIP compared to 270 last year. 14% home run to fly ball compared to 10%. It's all starting to regress, and it's probably going to go. I could see it being worse than last year. Let's put it that way.
Right. Like even the last 2-3 weeks, we have seen this coming with Javier Baez. So you for those of you who got in early enough on Javier Baez, congratulations. But I've even recommended him as a drop in 12 teamers just because I
dropped him last week in a 12.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that. I mean, basically his entire season output was from May 1st or April 30th to May 16th, and look at what he's done before. I know I'm picking arbitrary endpoints there, but I think this was just like an epic 2-week heater, and it's Javier Baez. I don't think much has changed.
Yeah, and the crazy part is he's still playing every day on a team that's playing really well. So maybe he has another streak.
That could change.
Yeah,
that could change. I mean, Detroit is a good enough team where, like, yes, they move Baez to the outfield. Like, it seems like they want to keep his bat in the lineup for now, but Detroit's like a pretty good team. They're going to compete. If Baez starts doing nothing again, I could see that playing time start to dry up too.
Totally agree. Zach McKinstry of said Detroit Tigers, he's back from the IL, which is great to see, but hitting 261 on the season with the 3 home runs. BABIP's up to 344. Home run to fly ball 6 to 8%. This is one of those guys that early in the season, multi-position eligibility all over the place. People are like, okay, power, speed, especially in deeper formats, you got to come, grab some while you can. The skill set just doesn't jump off the page to me by any means. Like, he's hitting more ground balls this year. I think there's definite regression coming this direction for McKinstry, but 261, I still think he can hit like 250 to 260. So I don't think it's that crazy. It's maybe more the power to me than anything.
Yeah, because basically McKinstry's been a subpar barrel guy throughout his entire career. That's the same. It's like a 6.5% barrel rate this season. League average, I think, is like 8.5, something like that. So still below average power. He's running a little bit, which is nice. I just think Zach McKinstry's that like weekly streamer. He's nice to have in deeper leagues because he plays everywhere. But outside of that, I don't think there's much of a ceiling here. A lot of the projection systems the rest of the way for McKinstry have like 5 homers, 8 steals, and like a 240, 250 batting average. I think that's just who he is.
All right. Austin Hayes. This is one of those, if he could stay healthy, I give you a better answer, but he can't stay healthy. So that's what's very frustrating here. Is either gets hit by a pitch, fouls a ball off his foot, pulls a hamstring. Like, he's the living epitome of the game operation at this point in time. But Austin Hayes is still hitting 303 on the year with 6 home runs, 316 BABIP last year at 361 this year, 10% home run to fly ball to 17. Home run to fly ball, like, it'll regress, but I still think it's doable because of the ballpark. That's going to help him a ton in that regard. BABIP's a different story. You can probably forge that a little bit, but even if the average goes from 316 to like 265, 270, I think the power is still pretty much going to happen. He's just got to stay on the field.
No, I'm glad you called that out, because not just for Hayes, but I think that's one where you can look at some of these guys and these outliers. A lot of that is park dependent. So Austin Hayes going from a 10% homer to fly, slightly below average, up to 17%. a lot of that could be Park. I mean, in Hayes' case, the barrel rate's been awesome. Like, he's making a lot harder contact this season when he has been healthy. Like, that helps a lot. But I think it is noteworthy to shout out guys who are playing in new stadiums with different park factors and that sort of thing, because that could be driving both Homer to Fly and BABIP. Parks have their own, like Coors Field is the ultimate example of, like, it's actually not that great of a home run park, but it's like BABIP legend park. So each park kind of has their own characteristics for this. So it's important to shout out guys who are in different spots than they would have been in 2022 through 24, which is the baseline that I'm using to compare these guys.
Yes, totally with you on that one, and hopefully we get some healthy Austin Hayes in our life. Maikel Garcia, another guy who's kind of been banged up here and there, but having a really good, it was a slow start, and then he really picked it up at like a monster week where, like, okay, Maikel's back, the off-brand mascot, as you like to call him. So well said, actually. Dude's hitting 316 on the year with 5 home runs, got 10 steals, but that BABIP from 303 to 359, 4% to 8% home run to fly ball, it feels like there's some serious regression coming your way.
Yeah, I mean, not going to hit 316, but as Kevin Hastings noted, Royals expert, calls out in the chat, moved up to 3rd in the lineup today. That is important. That matters. The Royals need all the help that they can get in their lineup, and that's one of the reasons why we saw Jack Caglione get called up. So still really like off-brand mascot, still really like Maikel Garcia, even if he doesn't hit 316. A lot of the projection systems like 270 right now for Maikel Garcia. I like that with like 20 steals the rest of the way. That is super valuable. And he's hitting the ball harder this year. It's almost a 6% barrel rate, which, again, below average, but it's not nothing. Like, this is a guy who hit 7 home runs and 626 plate appearances last season, Maikel Garcia. Like, that is nothing. Already up to 5. Like, this is someone who I think can get low teens homers. And if you pair that with 30 bags and a good batting average for someone who plays and has multiple positions, I think that is quite good. So I am on the off-brand mascot quite a bit. Not going to hit 316, but I think can be awfully valuable.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the talking point we had even going into last draft season, not this year, but even the year before. It's like, hey, he's a leadoff. We believe there's more power than what he's like showcasing. We know the speed's crazy if he gets out there enough. The Royals offense, like, it's supposed to be better, and it's been. So hopefully that gets cracking as well. I'm with you. There's a lot to like. Do I think he hits 316? No, but 285, 280, I'm there. Then you throw that power and speed into play, and it could be a very nice return for the off-brand mascot for those that took the chance and held on during the tough start. Let's put it that way. Now let's flip the script. Let's get positive regression on the board here, and let's talk Jake Burger. This one's frustrating for many reasons. Horrible start to the year, like he's done the last 2 seasons. That's happened. Gets sent to the minors for like 10 days, comes back, starts hitting very well. Once he returns, kind of quieted down a bit. Still only 1 home run since he came back. So he's hitting 211 on the season with the 7 home runs. 293 BABIP last year, 246 this year. Home run to fly ball is just falling off the map. 21% to 11%, which is pretty bonkers stuff here. His usually a 2, I'd say, well, it's all over the board, is BABIP every year. I can't even say what it is. The dude's been 280, 292, 284, 324, hit 250 every time. That's impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
Like literally 250 on the dot every season each of the last 3 years. Wow.
But yeah, we're looking at the barrel rate. The hard hit rate's the second best of his career. The barrel rate's the second best of his career. I'm just waiting for like the monster 3-week stretch coming up here.
Agreed. And this is not just because we are impartial and trying to get a podcast sponsorship from Bubba Burgers Inc. We would take such an offer from them. But Jake Burger, I think, like, he has done this before too. I think each of the last 2 seasons just gone off in the second half after slow starts. This is prime. Anytime your homer to fly gets cut in half, like, Jake Burger is a 20% homer to fly guy. And right now he's at 11%, even with tons of hard contact. It's 19 barrels to just 7 home runs. Like, the hard contact has been there. Strikeout rate's not that bad. I think Jake Burger I think we're in for some fireworks, my friend, these last 4 months.
I am on board with you there. I've not wavered. I never dropped him. He's been with me. So, it's going to be glorious when it happens. And if people don't think I'm going to tweet about it, you're wrong.
The only thing with Jake Burger, though, like, dude, he does not draw a walk. Like our guy has a 243 OBP. Like that is
it's bad.
That is truly terrible in real life. I still think Texas plays him every day, but it's bad. Like he does not walk.
They have to play him every day if he's on the roster, just based on what I've noticed with their roster. It's not pretty.
They did send him down, but
I'm saying if he's on the roster, that's why I clarify. I put the caveat in there. Then, like Adelise Garcia got his little 4-game timeout. Got the pinch hit on Tuesday though. Got a hit and scored a run. So we'll see where that goes. I guess the other downside to Berger is he hits the bottom of the order, so that's a bummer too. But nothing we can do about that.
But also that could change, right? That's kind of a chicken and the egg type of thing. He's hitting the bottom 100%. Of the order because he hasn't hit. But I think once he starts hitting, who else is Texas gonna have in the middle of their order? So
totally.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yainer Diaz, another guy that starts out slow.
Yep.
And here we are. He's hitting 231, 320 BABIP to 252, 17% home run to fly ball to 11% home run to fly ball. But what I'm gonna point out here real quick is we've started to see things shift with Yainer. So if we did this chart again at the end of June, I don't think he's on this list. Since May 15th, it's still just a 222 batting average, a 222.25 BABIP, but he's got 3 of his 7 home runs. That's my point where I was going with that. He's actually hitting for more power of late. And if you shrink it down to like the last week, he's hit safely in 5 of 7 games. Like he's slowly improving at the plate. And I think a big second half's coming his way as well.
Exactly. Full agree to actually put some numbers to that. Yainer Diaz this time last season through May was hitting 253 with 3 home runs and 202 plate appearances. Like he was really bad and then just went off, and to the point where Yainer Diaz was like the consensus number 2, number 3 catcher.
Something like that, yeah.
In 5x5 leagues. So again, just a reminder, it's a long season. Yainer's had cold streaks like this, but he's also had hot streaks. And I fully agree with you. Like I think the wheels have actually started to turn on this over the last couple of weeks for Yainer Diaz.
Yep. Now a player that I think, I'm not going to try to speak for you, but I think we're both pretty much like, God, this sucks. Is the mascot, the 2024 mascot, but will always be the mascot in our hearts. Luis Rengifo, dude's hitting 215 on the year with 1 home run. 1 home run. He only has 1 stolen base as well.
1 steal.
Yeah, dude. He's been caught 4 times. He's got 1 steal as well. It's bad. It's really bad. I actually wrote him up for a risers and fallers column, so I looked at it a little deeper. Like he's never been a barrel and a hard hit guy. It's never been his jam. But we're talking a 55% ground ball rate. He's 55% last year, so that's the same. It's just across the board bad. But I will point this out. If you look at all his X stats, they're expecting some massive positive regression, like major positive regression, if you believe in X stats. But if you just look at what we have in front of us, Ryan, as that's all we can really do, it is brutal.
It's brutal. This is probably an outlier of outliers, and I hate that it's Luis Rengifo because he is our guy. Like most of these guys in the red, most of these guys who are lagging behind their career baseline, I'm pretty bullish on. It's not the case for Rengifo. Like all the X stuff, whatever, looks good because he's fast. He doesn't strike out and he hits the ball on the ground. Like so, the batting average will get better than 215. But like I don't see any power here, and I think the biggest thing, by far the biggest thing, he's not running.
Yeah,
he's not like he's only attempted 4 steals. Granted, he hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities, but he's had 4 stolen base attempts and 200 plate appearances. Like, unless Luis Rengifo starts running again and starts being efficient on the base pass, right? He's 1 for 3. Like, he's just doing nothing for you. So, yeah, probably gets a little better. But, like, I also don't think we're that far away from, even on the Angels, Luis Rengifo, like, not being an everyday player, which, again, painful to say. But, like, this is one where I have to really squint to see this turn around.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it will be. I'll be excited if it does. I don't think it will. And yeah, he's been benched in all my leagues and then almost dropped. Like if I needed to, he might get dropped this week. Let's put it that way. He's on the radar there. This is what I was wondering. I was going to look it up, but Michael C got it here though. Angels are 29th in team stolen bases. Washington came in and they haven't ran at all. They were supposed to run last year. They ran a ton. This year they're not running at all. So that's interesting.
That's a great pull because I that's something I haven't really adapted to yet because I just think of Ron Washington, what he said last year and followed through on, and now all of a sudden,
That's what I was thinking when you said
so.
that. When you said that, I was like, okay, Neto's running, but outside of him, like Ward's not. I started doing things in my head real quick, and yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad Michael pulled that one up there. All right, I'm going to skip Andres Jimenez. He's been on the IL forever. Unless you have anything to add to him, he just got activated on Tuesday as we record the show. If you have anything to say on him, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to move along.
No, just someone who is running. So I like that. We don't have stolen bases on the board here, but yes, Andres Jimenez I think has 9 steals, like 9 for 10. So that's a good sign. I'm like I would take Andres Jimenez over Rengifo rest of season.
All righty. Now I want to hear your thoughts here because this is one of your boys and one
This
guy.
is my guy, man.
This is one guy I've never been a fan of. So at least, okay, never been a fan at his cost. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Michael Harris II. He's hitting 234 on the year with 3 home runs. Is BABIP last year or the last couple of years 331? Is BABIP this year 277? 17% home run to fly ball down to 5%. I know he's been off to like slow starts in the past. He's been injured a lot in the past. He still comes back and gets his home runs. Speed was down last year, but for the most part, we get the same Michael Harris experience. It's been, I don't know if brutal's the right word, Ryan, but it's not been good. I'll let you run with this. Do you see anything looking better here? Because I don't believe it.
I mean, Harris is on a 30 stolen base pace, so I will start with that. Granted, there has been pretty much nothing else, and I will admit, like I don't know why I like Michael Harris so much, even at cost. It's not the type of player someone who doesn't have the track record of doing it for a full season.
He's too young.
Doesn't have the track record of doing it. The projections always love, but that's probably why the projections always love Michael Harris. What it is. But like, why do the projections love Michael Harris? I don't get it. It's something I need to take a little bit of a deeper dive this season. Like, watch Michael Harris go nuts again in the second half, and we're back in the third. At least I'm back in the third round again. Yeah, this is one where like Michael Harris, I think has tricked me, has fooled me. You're right, Bubba. I'm wrong.
Wow, I wasn't looking for that, but okay.
I don't know. I mean, granted, too, the power's gone down. Like, I didn't see the power going down this much.
That's the biggest thing. The power just dropped.
It has. Yeah, it was a 10% barrel rate for Michael Harris through his first 3 seasons, like very consistently. That's down to 6%. He's not striking out all that often, so this is where he drags me back in, right? This is where he drags me back in.
Contact is still there.
Contact's still there. Like, he's got a better history. He's running a line. He's gonna steal 30. I'm back in. I just talked myself back into it, and now I hate myself. So there we go.
My question for you, because you do this column for the Speculator, I don't know if I apologize if I missed this. Is this the guy that's maybe playing with an injury?
I don't think so, because then he wouldn't run. Like, I don't know. I mean, you never know, but I don't think so.
Okay, just curious.
Whereas, like, I can see Rengifo playing with an injury because he's hurt all the time.
Yes, I was. He has like 4 of them. Yes. He's the opposite of Rendon. He gets hurt and plays. There's a difference there.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about Michael Harris because it's just been a dramatic fall off this year, and we'll see if it can come back together. Jake Fraley, another guy that fab week to week till he gets hurt once again, is on the board here. He's back right now, so he's got that going for him. He's at 195 with 4 home runs. Not great. BABIP's down to 200 this year. That's horrible. Home run to fly ball is pretty same, 11% compared to his usual 13% average. I think it's a health thing personally. That's my big. He's always hurt right now. But at the same time, let me check something. He is 30 now, so he's slowly getting older. I'll say that much. But where are you at on Fraley? Because the power dropped off last year as well.
Power dropped off last year. The biggest thing with Jake Fraley, and this is where you can't always just say, oh, the BABIP's going to come back to what it was. Jake Fraley is now a 50% fly ball guy, which you do not want to see if you are Jake Fraley because you don't have the raw power to make that work. Jake Fraley has typically lived in like the mid 30s for a fly ball rate, which is what you want to see for someone with Jake Fraley's power. Once you start getting like 50% and you don't have power, fly balls that aren't home runs are pretty much always outs. And that's why Jake Fraley, not totally why he has a 200 BABIP. Like, that's horrendous. That'll get a little bit better. But like, Jake Fraley needs to stop hitting so many fly balls and get back to what he was doing before. Because if he doesn't, like, this is not going to end well when you have 4 barrels all season and 101 plate appearances, yet half your batted balls are in the air. Like, that is not a good combination.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's yeah, when he turned to a ground ball guy for average, uses speed, turns into a fly ball guy that doesn't have it all. That could be a massive problem. And honestly, like Will Benson's probably better than Jake Fraley now. There's a handful of options in Cincinnati. Like Fraley's not going anywhere because he's the veteran, but maybe he gets traded or something and figures it out somewhere else. But yeah, not on my fantasy teams. I'll tell you that much. Lou Bob is a question amongst questions for so many people. He's hitting 177 with 5 homers. He's running wild, like insanely, like crazy right now, which keeps his fantasy value in check. Otherwise, you just throw him out the window. BABIP's down to 240. Home run to fly balls down to 9%. I'm figuratively for fantasy, not literally. Come on, people. But like, what are you doing with Lou Bob? Because it's quite troublesome, I'd say, to see this continue just decline with him, and I don't see it getting better.
I can see the power coming back. This is another guy. It's 15 barrels on 5 home runs. You would expect closer to like 10 homers. The barrel rate's really good for Luis Robert. The batting average is going to be terrible. Projection systems have him like 230. I would actually take the under on that, given how often Luis Robert strikes out and whiffs. But I think the home runs get better. The stolen base is, like, to your point. I mean, he is on like a 55 steal pace. Like that is pretty good. He's not doing much else than that. And then you wonder, like, what's the trade situation here? Like Luis Robert has, I think, pretty obviously hurt his trade value this season, given the way, because steals are not as valuable in real life as they are in fantasy. So maybe Luis Robert like just toils away into oblivion with the White Sox, which is what we don't want. I want a trade here because I think Luis Robert still has it. This is somebody who is still just 27 years old. Like I said, the power's there. He's running crazy. Strikeouts are going to be part of the package, but I could very well be wrong here, but I'm not like fully in on Luis Robert, but I think this gets better in the power department.
I don't disagree with you. I think a trade would do him miracles to help him get, like, just clear his mind, not have to worry about the shenanigans in Chicago and all that kind of stuff. Um, I would definitely be benching him. I wouldn't drop him. I can't stomach a drop of Lou Bob because the skills. He's still too young to be like just dropping off like this.
And the skills are good outside of the like if the power results track with this actual like raw power. Like, yeah, the batting average is going to be good, but this is a
He'd
potential like he'd be a lot better than Randy Rose. I mean, he would be like a 25-50 type guy, like an Ellie De La Cruz almost, just not with the batting average. But I don't know. Again, I could be wrong here, but I'm not giving up.
I don't think you are. I think you're fair in your assessment, my friend. Jazz Chisholm Jr. returned from the IL on Tuesday, went deep on the season, hitting 181. Now has 8 home runs, but BABIP's down to 200 this season compared to his average of 309. Homer to fly ball still just fine because of the short porch and right and what he's doing there. But the average is taking a big drop, and part of me wonders, like, he was kind of banged up even coming into the season, which was interesting as part of it. But I wanted to check this out real quick. Yeah, he's elevating the ball a ton more, which is affecting his BABIP rate. Like I had to check it out before I'm pretty sure he is, but let me double check this before I speak out of school. Yeah, it's like a 20% jump. It's like 56% fly ball rate, and the ground ball dropped about 15%. So yeah, it checks. I don't think it's going to sustain this way, but it checks.
No. Yeah, and again, it's 125 plate appearances. I said a minimum of 100. Maybe I should have bumped this up to take out some of the injured guys. I'm not. I'm just worried about health with Jazz Chisholm. That's always the thing that I'm worried about with Jazz, and he is back, so I like that. I'm not too worried about even a massive jump in fly ball rate, 125 plate appearances. Like, hopefully that starts to kind of correct itself. I think Jazz is going to be just fine.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. Jordan Alvarez is, who knows, gone. Jock.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have anything on Jordan?
No, I got. I mean, there's nothing we can say. Like,
yeah, it's just that whole situation's a freaking joke. It's just the ass. Like, that's why I was shocked when the Zinzo news came out today. I was like, hey, they're actually letting him sit for 2 weeks, then re-image him before they do something. Huh? What a novel concept.
And thus the what's his name? Jacob Melton.
Yes, freaking idiots.
The love.
Jock Jams. This one is intriguing. Dude's hitting 131 with 2 home runs. BABIP's down to 152. Home run to fly ball's down to 5%. It's weird, Ryan, because his strikeout rate's down to 19.2%, his best since 2018. That's been a massive improvement there. Doesn't mean it's always a great thing to drop off like that because the barrel rate's super low this year, and the ground ball rate's only up 6%, which still matters, but it's not like it's insane. What do you see when you look at Jock Jams? Because what I see is a guy that's lost, but a guy that's so close that could tweak one little thing and chaos ensues once again.
That's what I think too. Like, I mean, the last 3 seasons, Jock Jams has been, like, the power has been pretty glorious and the strikeout rate's been good. Like, there's not that much, I mean, to your point, there's not that much change in the actual skills here in terms of strikeout rate, in terms of batted ball profile with the fly balls. Raw power is down a little bit, but it's within tolerance. So I just think this is like a terrible, terrible start for Jock Peterson. I think it gets better to the point where at some point we're talking about Jock as a very useful streamer again in the second half of our Fab shows.
Yep, totally agree. He's going to be coming up probably maybe after the break, but hopefully sooner. But I'm with you. It seems like it's so close. It's not like there's a massive shift in the approach, and maybe it's just be more aggressive. Like maybe strike out 25% of the time. Like start going after some stuff. We talk about that a lot with some of these guys that start getting more patient at the plate. When you start giving up on those pitches, you can do some damage with as well.
Yeah.
All right. Any other final thoughts? We went through pretty much all the ones that weren't Hurt or Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Not really. I mean, I think in general, it's the general theme is we are kind of down on the overperformers and higher on the underperformers with some obvious exceptions. So I think it's good to kind of look at these with a critical eye, look at each player and kind of make an assessment, which I think we did. So hopefully this is helpful and hopefully we're right more than we're wrong, but we had fun doing it at least.
Yes, we did. And it'd be amazing if Rengifo could figure it out, but I think we both are on the right path. That's not going to happen. And I'll say this much, the green we all think will regress, but most of them we thought were still quite serviceable, like not a massive tank job.
Right.
So taking a positive out of that one, because I know most of the times we'll do certain BloomBoards. It's like, oh, this guy's going to suck. This guy's overshoot. Like there's like usually a clear definitive line on some of these, where I think we still pretty much think most of these guys will be like Baez, you can definitely move on from that, but most of them are be just fine.
Yeah.
Along the
I
way.
definitely think Will Smith, he'll get even better. So, it'll be good when that happens.
All right. We have listener questions from the Discord here. Let me find the show questions. There we go. Yeah. Andy Splinter in the Discord, and we had a Discord chat going on about this. And as someone that can't figure out how to use a spreadsheet, I was jealous about all the cool stuff you guys are putting out there. But Andy Splinter says, following the earlier Discord chat, how do you track your team's standings in each category to help with lineup or pickup choices? And if you had unlimited time, how would you track it?
Oh, if I had unlimited time, Bubba, you got to be on a golf course somewhere.
Yeah, I still wouldn't be tracking my stats.
I don't know. So yeah, we did have some really good discourse in the Discord this week, kind of folks showing how they track their standings. We had some line graphs in there showing standings by team and that sort of thing. I do look at I don't track standings. I think even if I had unlimited time, I don't know if I would. And again, I've always said this, and this is always like a polarizing thing. I always put my own teams last. Like by the time I get to my team's lineups and Fab, like I'm already kind of burnt out. I just look at the standings as I'm doing lineups, as I'm doing Fab to see where I'm bunched. And really, I think it's the bunches. The bunches you need to look at. Where are other teams? Where are they bunched up, either ahead, behind you? That's where you can actually move, as opposed to saying, oh, I'm 12th in runs, I need to get better in runs. Well, you may need 100 more runs to get to 11th, and so it doesn't really matter. So just keep in mind the bunches. And again, that kind of, at this point in the season, I'm still not really looking too much at category balance outside of saves and steals. I just think play your best players, worry about categories and kind of optimizing that, worry about that in August, September.
Completely agree. That's my main thing is I'm not even really looking right now. If anything, I might just take a quick peek to make sure I'm not like just falling so far behind in certain categories.
Sure.
But other than that, I'm just trying to put the best lineup out I can at this point in time. I usually don't start really checking it more often until like maybe July 4th, but I really don't make a point in Fab till August probably to make those decisions because there's just so much time. And if you start looking for specific categories, you will punt other categories and you might end up hurting yourself in the long run. So, because when you go to the waiver wire, especially as the season goes on, you're finding mainly 1-2 category guys probably, which means they're hurting you in 3 to 4 categories more often than not. And that's not what you want for a longer extended stint. So not something I do. And I think you guys should all know as a caveman, I literally just look at the standings page. I scroll down to where it shows the numbers. And I just kind of in my head go, okay,
you're highlighted and
I need help here, here, and here. And then to Ryan's point, it's like, okay, I need help in these 3 categories. Which one can I actually gain points in? That's where I, instead of just throwing it at the wall, like, don't waste your money if you're 25 points back of gaining, 2 points where maybe you're 6 saves back from gaining 5 points. Like there's all those kind of things where you should focus your energy on.
Don't twist this with, I look at my standings. I'm a sick individual. I look at my standings multiple times a day. Like anytime someone hits a home run, I'm like, oh, where did I gain? And like, that's not the way to do it, but that's just the like weird part of me that I just always look at live standings and see how my teams are doing. But I should probably if I spend half the time actually tracking my standings as I do just looking and see how much I improved or not in a single day, which does not matter at all. But that's what I look at anyway, because again, I'm not right upstairs sometimes.
Yeah, I look at mine every night after I close the laptop. I go to bed, I lay down, and
that's impressive. That's actually good because so you're not like constantly checking.
Well, I'm constantly checking my DFS scores throughout the evening, so that's what I'm constantly checking, not the season long stuff. Yes,
yeah, which makes sense.
And then that's all. That's the only question we got tonight. There you go, problem solved. And
that was it. I thought we got something else, but
they were talking to each other. I think so.
Oh yeah, Andy said. So you're saying there's hope for the mascot?
Yeah.
Mark says, "Oh yes, there is," and me and Bubba are here to say,
we don't.
We don't think there is.
You don't think so?
We may be wrong. I hope we're wrong.
We'd love it to be. We'd love there to be, but yeah. That's the way it goes, and we'll wrap it up there. Fun one in the books. I'm hoping we get some regression for some like Will Smith and some Jake Berger back in our lives, Yainer Diaz back in our lives to show Will Smith who the second best catcher is in baseball. Stuff along those
lines. Who'd you say?
Yainer Diaz.
Oh, Yainer Diaz. See, I'm trying to fish for a beer bet here with Will Smith. I think this is polarizing enough. Could we do Will Smith, Yainer Diaz the rest of the way? 5x5 player rater, June through the end of the season. Will Smith versus Yainer Diaz. Do I want to sign up for that?
That's the $1 million question, amigo.
I do want to sign up for that. I will challenge you on that.
You already have so many beers for me, so what's another one, I guess?
I've only got 2 in the bag. Yeah. Unless Nestor Cortez pitches.
Comes back from the grave.
Throw 162nd half innings.
You know what? The way we've seen Yainer play the last 2 seasons, I'll do it. Bring it.
All right. Yainer Diaz versus Will Smith, June through September player rater.
Yeah, it's going to be glorious when that takes place.
All right, I'll write it down.
Hopefully we get another 2-month slump from Will Smith like we got last year and evens things out a bit. Then he comes back in September and beats me by like a point all over again.
It's a good we'll wrap it up. I actually like Yainer Diaz, but we'll do it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. As well, make buying me a beer for that so much easier. But we'll wrap it up there, everybody. FPAS is only a few months away, like 5 months away. But literally, it's June 3rd right now. We will be teeing off in 5 months in Arizona. I think it's November 3rd?
6th. November 6th.
6th. Damn it. Okay. 5 months and 3 days. We'll be teeing it off over in Dobson Ranch in Arizona, Mesa, Arizona. We'll keep you up to date on that, of course, as usual. But until next time, check out Ryan on Twitter at RyanBHQ, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, and on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. I'm at BD Intric. This was Bubba and the Bloom, episode 248. Catch y'all next time.